Hello everyone, I'm back with another Diwali sweet. This is a favorite for weddings, for prayers, for Diwali time itself, but this one is a little harder to make. So this ladoo recipe is, I guess you can call it a motichur ladoo. That's for all my Indian viewers, but in Trinidad this is just regular ladoo. So it's a really amazing recipe and an even better dessert. So let's keep on watching. Okay, so for my ingredients here I have 1.5 cups of grind dal. This is also split peas powder or dal besan in Hindi. This is, you can find it at any West Indian or Indian grocery store. 1.5 cups. A half a cup of condensed milk. A tablespoon of ghee. A teaspoon of hardi, saffron or turmeric powder. 1.5 cups of water. And a few seconds ago, I ground some fresh elychee. So I have this in here, and it's still a little warm from when I poached it. So we'll need about a teaspoon of that. To fry, we need a ghee and oil mixture. My heat element was still hot, so the ghee already melted, but I used half ghee, half oil. I also have here a cup of sugar, quarter cup of water over here, and I have a bowl with a strainer. This is what we're going to fry and take out the pieces of dal with, because we'll be using our slotted spoon for something else. And then of course I have my paper towel to drain out my oil. So to begin, I have my grind dal here, and I'm gonna add my hardi powder to it and give it a mix. Mix and make sure you break out all the lumps. So after that's done, you're gonna grab your water and you're gonna add it, and you're going to make this into a batter. So here we've got a yellow lump-free batter, and you can see how when you pick it up it drips easily, but it's not too thin and it's not very thin. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how we drop this into our hot oil, our hot ghee and oil mixture. So I'm gonna turn on my pot with my ghee and oil to high, and I'm gonna show you how I drop it. I have a ladle here, and I have my jarna or my slotted spoon. I'm gonna grab a little bit, pour it, and you're going to push it, and when you see it drips through, when that goes into the oil, it'll make small little balls of our dal mixture, and that's what we need, and that's what we're going to cook until it gets hard. So a second ago I threw in a few drops of my mixture and they floated down and came up right away. Let me show you what I mean. Something fell. When they drop into the oil, they come back up right away, and that's exactly what you want. So now I'm going to start dropping my, so I'll leave those in there since they've just got in. So I'm going to grab a ladle full and my jarna, and I'm going to just drop this into the oil. And then just keep going at it until you've got enough at one time. They've gone crispy enough so that when I add when I try to mix them around, they're starting to make crackling noises. So I'm going to take them out. And I'm going to put them to drain on my paper towel. And then we're just going to continue the process until all of our dal batter is finished. Alright, so I fried out all of my dal, dal and hardi batter. Next step is to grind this. So traditionally we use a mill, and I have one right here beside me, but I don't feel to use that. It's like 8 o'clock in the night. So I'm going to use my magic bullet, which is set up right behind me, right there. And my mill, I'll just show you how it looks like, but I'm not going to use it. But that's what you would traditionally use. Alright, so this is my mill. It clamps onto your countertop, and there's a little rubber pad so that you don't scratch up your counter. And then this is the grinding plate here, and I have it on the finest setting because tomorrow we'll be using this to grind dal. Tomorrow will be Friday, to grind dal to make dal puri. And you just put in your dal and whatever, like if I was making ladoo, the same ladoo mixture inside here, or if you had the little pieces of fried flour, you'd put it in here, and you would crank this, and it would come out ground on this side. So that's basically what a mill is. So my dal mixture has hardened, it's nice and hard, and it's cooled down completely. So I'm gonna put in a first little batch, and this works really well to grind your dal mixture for ladoo, a magic bullet. But if this doesn't work, then I'll have to go to my mill. But the many other times I made ladoo, this has worked pretty well. And I'm just going to put this to grind in my magic bullet. So you get this very nice fine grind mixture, and this is what you're looking for. So this will make the perfect ladoo when it's fine like this. It feels like wet sand. Okay, so everything is grind, and it's so nice and fine, and it's just perfect, exactly how I want it. So now I'll throw in my ghee, 1 tablespoon of ghee, and mix. Okay, after mixing in the ghee, we're going to add in our condensed milk. And mix. And this is how the mixture will look like, and it feels very sticky, and you can almost make your ladoo with this alone, but you need some of that sugar to help bind it. I'm gonna throw in my elychee, about a teaspoon of elychee. And now we'll do our pack. So got my 1 cup of sugar, and I'm gonna add my 1/4 cup of water. And my heat is on high, and I'm going to mix until everything dissolves. And you're gonna mix this pag until you're gonna let it boil until you get that same crystallizing consistency, a very thick syrup. And you'll be able to tell because the second you touch it and you rub it in your hands, it'll feel very, very, very sticky. It'll be just like maple syrup. Okay, so I've got it at this very, very, very sticky point to where if you add it to a small container of cold water, it will immediately solidify. That's what you want. So I'm going to target it back onto my ladoo mixture, and I'm gonna give my ladoo with the elychee 1 final very gentle toss, and then I'm going to throw in a little bit of my pag at a time. All of this doesn't need to go in, and I'm going to mix it until I get a sticky consistency very similar to barfi consistency. Okay, so I used out all of my syrup, all of my pag, and it's a little thin, and that's exactly what you want because the little tiny pieces of grind dal are still hard and crispy, so the pag will go in there and it'll soften everything up. And you're just going to, it's very hot. You shouldn't be touching it like how I am, cleaning it off your spoon. You're going to leave this open like this for about 5 minutes so that everything can soak together and you get a little cooler mixture so that you can form into your ladoo. Okay, here we are just about 3 minutes after, and everything is just in its last sticky stages before the sugar starts to crystallize. And so I'm going to grab a piece of the mixture and I'm going to squeeze it in my hand. And you can see all the ghee coming out on my hand. And this is how you make one ladoo. So you're going to do this with the rest of your mixture and do it very quickly because otherwise it will not hold. Okay, so here's the finished ladoo. You will need to give this at least an hour to rest because the sugar still needs to harden and absorb into the pieces of dal. But I, with this recipe, made 35 big sized ladoos. These are pretty big. But if you make them a little smaller, you will get, like the traditional size, you will get 40 ladoos with this recipe. If you are making for a large amount of people, then this recipe is so easy to double. Instead of 1.5 cups of ground dal, you can use 3 cups of ground dal and so on, whatever. So I hope you all enjoyed this recipe. This will add on to my jalebi and my fat korma, my gulab jamun that I made in previous episodes. Next recipe you'll see will be a paneer barfi recipe, and maybe if I'm feeling too, rice flour pira recipe, because I am also making rice flour pira. Thank you all for watching this one more time. See you in my next recipe.